All-NBA performance. Folks, just in case you forgot, I know last year in New Orleans was a unique situation for Davis, but in Los Angeles teaming up with LeBron, every bit the MVP candidate, along with LeBron James, and Doris standing by with AD right now. Doris?
Anthony, 11 straight road wins, but in particular, this 3-game road trip, what's the most satisfying aspect of these 3 you put together?
The way we came out to play. You know, we got a thing called the Avery Challenge defensively. You know, with them out of lineup, we kind of suck defensively, and the last couple games we've been able to be first in defensive rating the past couple games. So we take pride in our defense, and when we able to play defense and defend the way we've been defending the past couple games, especially on this road trip, we're able to go in anybody's building and win. So 3 great teams, Denver, Utah, and Portland, all great home teams, and you know, coming in and beating all 3 teams is something that we want to do, but it started with our defense.
3rd time this year that you and LeBron have combined for 70 points. How much of your ability to play well together is about your skill set versus how you feel about one another?
We both respect each other. We know what we both can do on the floor on both ends, and when we get out and run and we run into our pick and roll, it's hard to guard. You know, he's able to shoot the ball if they go under. He's a monster attacking the basket. You know, I'm rolling or popping, and it kind of mix up the defense scheme. And anytime we're able to get into that action, it's unguardable. And then we got great shooters on the weak side who's able to knock down shots, and JaVale and Dwight cleaned up the glass. So we got a great team, and you know, guys are playing for each other. We playing selfless. All we care about is winning. And you know, the guys understand that, you know, me and Brian probably gonna take a lot of shots, and you know, these guys are doing the little things, and therefore, you know, any chance we get where we're able to find these guys and make plays, we want to give it to them. You know, we want to reward them, and thank them for doing all the little things. That's how you win championships.
Thank you, Anthony.
Thank you.
Back home for a game against the Timberwolves next, then 5 more on the road. For the 2 Quasars for the Los Angeles Lakers, 136-113. The final score began with a couple of old friends getting together. LeBron with the final say with the W. Coming up next, SportsCenter with Linda and Stan. For Doris, I'm Mark Jones. Thanks for watching ESPN. Good night, everybody, from Portland.
It's V-Week on ESPN.
After tonight's matchup, make sure you stick around for SportsCenter with Linda and Stan. They'll have the best moments between Melo and LeBron, and also talk playoff implications of that Oregon-Utah game. Sounds like the Ducks are getting the victory. All right, let's do a friendly wagers update.
Okay, 3-1.
Bad. I fall to under 500.
I'm gonna take this season overall.
The reigning champion Jalen Rose is at 2-7.
Interesting.
Take this lead though.
The only person that deserves to leave here swallowing is the girl who
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, no. I finally figured you out, and it only took
Just go
3
against
friendly
it.
wagers.
Go against
Go
them every
against
time.
them every single time.
That's bad. That's bad.
Okay, I'll tell you who you don't want to go against right now. It's the Lakers, 77-62. We do have some news to report, though. Rodney Hood, remember we saw him going down in that first half. It is confirmed a torn Achilles in his left leg, so you hate to see that, especially for the Trailblazers who've been dealing with injuries repeatedly. But we also know that right now the Lakers are putting on a show, and it didn't seem to matter who was in the game. LeBron is leading the league in assists, and he's been able to do that continually.
Yeah, the Lakers have 16 assists, and LeBron just makes everybody great around him. Just easy passes right over the top. The vision is one of the things that is so overrated about his game. I know he leads the league in assists, but all these passes are delivered right in the pocket, ready for shots. I mean, little passes like that, right over the top, boom, easy play.
What about the versatility and the dominance of one Anthony Davis? Here you see catching one of those lobs from LeBron James. But what about the shot blocking on the other end, protecting the paint? The Lakers have probably the most athletic length up front. How about this? The lefty corner 3, Paul Pierce knocking it down.
LeBron
Love
lead
it.
the league
All it
in
down.
assists.
Paul, is Dame more likely to win a Grammy or a title?
You know what? If he doesn't get any help soon, It's Grammy time, baby.
Been so far against the Trailblazers. Maria, we've got Paul, Jalen, and Jay Will here, and we had really the Bucks putting on a show against the Clippers in this matchup. They had won 13 straight coming into this game. We thought, oh, Clippers, this will be a tough.
A lot of players play with that energy and effort per possession.
This is why I was arguing with you on Get Up, telling you that Giannis is the best player in the game. He's amongst the league leaders in points, in rebounds, in blocks. He improved his three-point shot. They're going to have the #1 overall seed in the NBA. And when he plays against the teams like the Clippers and the Celtics, they play basic small forwards at power forward like Kawhi Leonard or Paul George or Jason Tatum or Jaylen Brown. He's going to punish them too.
He can easily bring home the MVP and Defensive Player of the Year award.
Give me one word to describe Giannis.
Scary. I mean, seriously, when you're matched up against Giannis, you're going to get your rest the night before. These guys, trust me, because half of the league or 90% of the guys who guard them are scared.
You're either going to get rest the night before, or you're going to get beat down the night of. His stat line from the third quarter, 13 points, 5 of 8 shooting against the Clippers, who are supposed to be great at defense.
I got one word for it. He's an alien. He's an alien. He's a skinny wing version of Shaquille O'Neal. Like, he just punishes people in the paint. And like we said, adding that shot to his game, he does that. Like, with the personnel of the team, though, that's what makes it scary, because it feels like they're the best three-point shooting team in the league.
You know why
the best player?
You know why they get no shots? Because of my word, dominant. Because you describe Shaquille O'Neal to a guy with his frame, yet he's making threes at over 30% this year, but he's still going to give you the effort defensively. Remember, he can guard 5 positions on a particular play. Now all of a sudden you put a big guy on him. Look at this. Pulling up with ease like a walk in the park. Truth? Like it's lights out when he's doing
This was the last
that.
element of his game that we questioned. And we saw the steps he took at the end of last year. This year, he's taking even further steps in that department, and that's why he's the best player.
So I have to ask you guys, is he the most unguardable player in the game? I say yes.
I think he's the most dominant player. James Harden is the most unguardable
player.
because he takes more shots and gets to the free throw line more. But he's the most dominant player.
I say he's the most unguardable because he's more efficient. Yeah, James Harden takes more shots.
That's
he
what
takes
makes him
more
dominant.
shots, but he's getting these layups and dunks. He's getting his mid-range, and plus he's making threes now.
Now he's
getting out of
dribbling in the
transition a
threes.
lot more than James Harden does for layups and dunks.
I still go back to our argument, though. And I hear you on everything that Giannis does, but I still, like, the Lakers would be a different matchup for them because of their interior defense.
Correct.
That's what you always gloat about,
Correct.
right? So I still say, like, I know LeBron James is in year 16, 17 of his career, but I sometimes think that we become remiss of all the things that he does do well because he's always been there. He's always been in that rarefied air.
Just think about this. LeBron is terrific. He's fantastic. He's wonderful. But the thing he does better than Giannis is passing. Right now, Giannis does everything else better.
Yes.
He's a combination of LeBron and AD.
And that's scary. That's exactly what you mean. That's scary.
That's scary.
We're going to see
Oh,
LeBron
my
taking on the
goodness.
Trailblazers in the second half of our doubleheader. Waiting for the Nuggets and the Celtics to tip it off. You got the Joker coming your way, shooting 45% from the field after shooting at 51% from the field last season. Guys will chime in on that later on Countdown. But obviously, the biggest news of the day in the NBA came from our Adrian Wojnarowski. As the Knicks have fired David Fizdale as their head coach, the firing came 25 days after the Knicks held an impromptu post-game presser regarding the Knicks' support for Fizdale. So let's walk through the firing and the latest with the Knicks, which is already having a rough season. Following the loss to the Cavs on November 10th, President Steve Mills and GM Scott Perry held a news conference talking about their disappointment in the team. It has not improved much since then, though. The Knicks are currently 4-18. That's the worst record in the East and tied for the worst start through 22 games in franchise history. Yeah, nobody likes that. And the last couple of games have been especially tough for New York. The Knicks have lost by a combined 81 points over the last 2 games. That's their worst point differential over any 2-game span in team history. And because we're talking Knicks history and how bad it is, guess who had to come into the studio? He was waiting to have dinner, and now he's here with us, Stephen A. Smith.
That's it.
Can I just say something, though? You had so much fun with the Cowboys loss, and you laughed, and you wanted them to stay together, and then you were ready to have your dinner. You were ready to spend time with your family. And then your team, the Knicks, willed you back into the studio.
Well, see, that's
because the head coach has been fired.
There's no surprise. There's no surprise because I was on a high because the Dallas Cowboys lost, and as a result, their fans across the world are absolutely miserable, which makes my day. And then I reminded that there's something worse than the Cowboys, and that's the New York Knicks, who are absolutely god-awful. We understand that.
Yes.
They got rid of David Fizdale. He was a coach that, from what I'm told, wanted out. It was frustrating him, the entire situation. A 21-83 record can frustrate you. There is no doubt about that. He's been awful. But people that are willing to stop there, and the New York Knicks organization has an abundance of people that are willing to do that. I'm not letting anybody off the hook. You accumulate this roster. Their mentality was bringing a bunch of forwards because you're going to need a multitude of dudes to play on that front court. You need veterans to help season the young guys, et cetera, et cetera. But in the same breath, they want to say that they supported David Fizdale. I would find that more believable if David Fizdale was playing Kevin Knox. I would find that more believable if young players were being developed. It didn't seem like any development was taking place. There seemed to be no rhyme or reason to how they were playing. Jalen and Paul and Jay will tell you in a heartbeat. There were games where we saw Marcus Morris